between Russia and China.
これより公式合格を開始します。
Now we are starting the offshore warming up.
コンテスト結果、ロシアがサーブ点を獲得しました。ここで本大会で採用されておりますチャレンジシステムについてご案内いたします。
From now, let us introduce the scoring system.
両チームのトップは試合中の初心者のために PK を行うことが可能になります。しかし、1セット2ターンの権利が認められたのに、ラリー中でもチャレンジが可能です。チャレンジが新調されると、ビデオレーダーが共有が行われ、チャレンジ成功の場合、チャレンジの残り回数はそのまま可能で、失敗の場合はチャレンジの回数が減ることとなります。また、VTR でプレーが確認できなかった場合は、主審規定が採用となります。この場合、チャレンジの回数は減りません。さらに、VTR および主審の効果が少ない場合は、ノーアウトとなります。
Technical teams are entitled to regular charity. Each time they understand how to play and is not opposed by referee, or when they would like to add a video of the referee's decision. Teams will keep the right to score another time if their play is red. As I do not jump or pull and suffer for silence halfway. When the situation is unable to be reached by officers, the first referee has the right to hold. And also, when the referee cannot make any decision, the team will keep the right to play silently.
チャレンジが要求できる方法は、ボールを落下して、ボールにボールをアウトさせて、ブロックのボールを選手によるデッキでのセッション、選手があるいはボールを当てられるセッション、サーブに選手の足の手をラインが踏み越し、攻撃選手がアタックを打つ際のアタックラインの踏み越し、試合中、選手の足が相手のに入ったかどうか、以上の項目が行われています。
Challenges are allowed during rally for the following situation: ball in or out, block touch, net hold, antenna touch, foot hold including a service,
Hello, everybody. Well, we are just 5 minutes away from the start of our first game from day 4 of competition here at the FIVB World Grand Champions Cup. We will have Russia against China coming up very shortly. Hope you can join us for that. The FIVB World Grand Champions Cup is in Japan as the planet's top women's volleyball teams battle it out for glory. Up next, Russia, the #1 ranked European team, take on China, the #1 ranked Asian team, right here in Nagoya. Hello and welcome to the Nippon Geishi Hall here in Nagoya, Japan. Clayton Lucas with you for Day 4 action from the FIVB World Grand Champions Cup. 3 matches to come, and the first game is Russia up against China. Both teams were in action on Day 3, and contrasting results, it has to be said. For China, they played Korea, and they won 3-0. This is currently how the table looks. China top, Japan second, the USA are in 3rd place. A win for Russia would see them shoot up the table. A win for China would consolidate their position in top spot. China played yesterday against Korea in a match that, according to the stats as I look at it now, was 1 hour and 3 minutes. So if you took out the times between sets and the timeouts and things, it was less than an hour. 25-14, 25-4, 25-12. A complete performance from China. Xu Ting went back to serve in set 2 and only ended serving after a challenge because she served the ball out over the baseline. At that point, China were 15-0 up against Korea. Never seen anything like it, not sure we'll see anything like it again. It was just a masterclass from China in how to play volleyball, in how to play block defense off the back of a serve. For Russia, they were in action against the USA in a 5-set thriller. Russia taking the first set 25-23, losing the second 25-21, taking the third 25-19, losing the fourth 25-21, and then losing the fifth 15-9. Only 6 points in it. USA scored 107, Russia 101. Game lasted 1 hour and 53 minutes. It was epic. How much that will take out of Russia, we will find out today. China certainly the fresher of the two. Both teams, having finished their warm-up, are now out onto court, and we are ready for the national anthems of both countries. We will start with Russia and we will finish with China.
Please rise for the national anthem of Russia. The national anthem of China.
ありがとうございました。 ご着席ください。
Well, just a couple of minutes away from getting this one started. Watch out for Russia and the way that they set up their serve-receive unit. For some reason, in the game against the USA, they decided to go, well, old school is the best way to describe it. Just two passes. Koshileva, number 15, who's an outside hitter and passer, did not pass. It was Frolova, number 2, and Trechakova, number 11, the libero, who passed the whole court between them. And it has to be said, not very successfully. The referees today, the first official is Daniele Rapisada from Italy on the left of your screen. And he'll be ably assisted by the USA's Patricia Rolfe. So referees take their position. It's time to meet the two teams. Russia have had pretty much the same lineup throughout the tournament, except for their first set when they underestimated their opposition, which was the USA, and had to change it. So this is how they're lining up today. In a change to what normally is happening. So Felishtinskaya, number 3, isn't starting. It's Pankova, number 10, starting. Goncharova, number 8, in the opposite slot. And then the outside hitters are number 1, Yanis Sherban, and number 18, Ksenia Parabet. So, well, an interesting start. It has to be said, no place on court for Koshileva. And going through the middle is Ekaterina Evdokimova, number 19, and number 14, Fedosova. So Russia using their reserves for this game. China will be putting out their strongest team possible, no question of that. And that's exactly what they've done. So number 9, Zhu Ting, number 9, Zhong Chengling is through the outside, number 2, Zhu Ting through the outside. Number 1, Yuan Xinyue is through the middle, along with number 20, Yan Ni, and then setting is Ding Xia, number 16, and number 22, Xiong Chenlei, is in the opposite slot. Jia head coach, also looking on from the crowd, is Jenny Lang Ping. And they are connected up by earpieces, so no doubt Jenny Lang Ping will be just offering advice to Anjia Jay during the course of this one, as she has been throughout the tournament. Goncharova is the number 1 spiker for Russia. She's got 65 points, 55 from service, 8 from block, and 2 aces. Next best, Koshileva's not even on the court at the moment with 60. Zhu Ting has 63 points so far in this competition, and she only played 1.5 sets against Korea. 54 spikes, 6 block, and 3 aces for 63 point total for Zhu Ting. She'll be adding to that today. It's Russia in blue serving. It's China in red receiving. This is the first game from day 4 of action from the FIVB World Grand Champions Cup here in Nagoya, Japan. China currently topping the table, and Russia languishing near the bottom. But that's a good start for Vladimir Kuzitkin's team. A few fresh players on court for Russia. Maybe those fresh legs will help. Goncharova again. Zhang Chengling thought that was in. Well, actually, what she thought was it was off the block. So we're going to have our first challenge. If you're new to the challenge system, let me just tell you all about that. Each coach has 2 challenges per set. If you get your challenge right, you keep it. So if you get one wrong, you lose it. You get the other one wrong, you lose that. What you can challenge: block touch, which is what China are currently challenging. Ball in, ball out. Yes, big touch. You can challenge whether the ball's hit the antenna. You can challenge a foot fault from serving, from spiking and the centre line. And you can challenge 4 touches when the ball's been hit into the net and the referee's called it for 4 if you think it hit the block. So it's kind of a block touch. You can also challenge in rally if you see something and the referees haven't, provided it's within the bounds of what you can challenge. But you have to do it then and there, you can't go back. At the end of a rally, you can only challenge the last action. China with their first point. Yuan Xingyue getting her lines muddled up then, as that ball was tipped over by Pankova. Popped up very nicely for Russia to throw it back down. Excellent work. Ding Xia finding Yuan Xingyue without any problem whatsoever. Nice hard hit cross court by Parabets. So China move in front. And Xingyue getting over the top of the block. The dig. China slightly out of position though at the net. It's a little bit tight, but would you believe it? Russia get away with that one. Good work by Goncharova, keeping a straight arm in on Zhu Ting, who had a press and then had to come back down again. Brought the ball with her. That slide working very nicely. So far, so good for Russia. They are competing well, even with without their full strength side. China are struggling at the moment to deal with the serving power that Russia are bringing. For a net touch here.
The challenge by China, net touch.
Team China
Against Russia. Didn't look like there was a net touch. But there was really good spot.
The time was successful.
Same place for the middle attackers for China. They're going deep to the corners, and there's nobody in a base position there. There's nobody in a starting defensive position. Very difficult for 6 to try and play that. Lovely blocking from China. Incredibly, it's China going into the technical timeout leading by 1, and what a difference a challenge can make. China continue on in good form. China with this lead, and Russia have changed their serve-receive pattern now. Without Koshaleva on the court, they're actually going with 4 passes in some instances, and as that ball is put in by the libero Krujkova, you'll notice she's wearing gloves, fingerless gloves, and it has been a question that's been asked on social media, why is she wearing fingerless gloves? You aren't allowed to wear gloves to play volleyball, just put that out there. It isn't something you can just pop on and say, yeah, I think I'll wear these today, they look cool. You need to have a medical reason, needs to be a reason, and actually there is a medical reason for Krujkova. She has eczema, and so it's to protect her eczema. Therefore she has dispensation to wear her gloves. China increase their lead now to 2. Certainly Russia's attack presents different problems for China, and it's something that they won't have seen yet during the course of this tournament, because Yana Sherbet's only been in briefly, and Parabets as well, only briefly. So 2 wing spikers that China haven't seen, haven't scouted. So there is some method in the madness, as it were, for Russia putting in a new look, a new look team. Nice cover by Yuan Xinyue. Oh, and then a superb block. Hands across the net, getting into the hitting zone of parapets. Yep, it hit the floor. Well, that was a chance. It looked like that might well have been diggable. Zheng Chunlei deciding she wasn't going to get it. Good dig from Pankova. China scrambling. And they're going to get that. Off the block and wide, and Parapets, who was the defender at 4, didn't cut the angle across. She's actually dropped back in a straight line and then had an awful long way to go for that ball off the block. And it's Russia who call the timeout. Just looking at the timeline of points going across that we saw, that little ticker tape, the 3-point lead is due to the 4 points that China have got from service and the 1 that Russia have got from service. Shooting, just having a little look at the rotation to check where everybody is. Quite handy. Nice dig by Zheng Chongning. Oh, good up by Goncharova. Oh, that's a great dig and no one backing up for Russia. That's a lovely dig by Krychkova. Nice work by Goncharova. Over with the serve. Goncharova was looking for a touch off the block. She pointed at Zhu Ting. So Russia are challenging.
The time by Russia.
As to whether or not I did catch the block. Not going to be quite such an easy day at the office for Goncharova to go over the block, especially with Zhu Ting and Yan Xinyue to go past. So the ball caught Zhu Ting. Pankova will serve again. Well, some very hard hitting going on, as you might expect from the Olympic champions China, and #1 ranked team in Europe, Russia. The rankings for this tournament were taken post 2016 Olympics in Rio. So really may have changed slightly since then. That's the basis for the selection for this tournament. So the top-ranked team from Europe, the top-ranked team from South America, which is Brazil, the top-ranked team from Norseca, which is North America, which is the USA, the top-ranked team in Asia, which is China, the host Japan, and a wild card, which for this tournament is Korea. Big swing from Japan. Lin Li feeling that one. A rare error from Zhu Ting, and now Russia are back level. Parabets. Oh, lovely swing. Goncharova getting the better of the Chinese block, and it is Russia who have the lead at the second technical timeout. Oh, that's a good serve. And Russia capitalizing off the back of the second technical timeout, now going 2 ahead. Well, see the swerve and movement on that ball. Always difficult to really appreciate what's happening with the volleyball when you see the view that you generally watch, which is side on. And we rarely get enough of a view from the end of the court to see the movement of the ball. And if you do get a chance and you can watch a game of volleyball, even if it's just for a set, watch it end on at this level. Fantastic. See the movement of the players and how much pressure is put on the teams. And there's an ace serve for China. Di Xia getting the better of Kruchkova. Another look from Endon. There's so much movement. Oh, there wasn't. You could see that just move one way or the other. Kruchkova then getting out of the way, thinking it was going to go long. Di Xia once again. Zhu Ting quickly in to help out, to shut Russia down, and just like that, China are back in front. Tried to run the quick over Zhu Ting. Fedisova denied. That's some superb blocking by Zhu Ting, helping out in the middle, especially with Goncharova to deal with as well. It's a double threat for Zhu Ting. She's not quite quick enough out wide, and then gets tooled by Goncharova. Ding Xia went after that. The ball just catching the hands of Zheng Chunlei. Not sure why Ding Xia then waited, because it was there to be played. Only she will know. A double change for Russia. Koshileva comes into the front row, acting as an opposite player. And Felishtinskaya into the back row to serve. Three massive front row players here in terms of height at the net for Russia. Koshileva, Sherban. And Evdokimova. Nicely done. Zheng Chunlei with a clever little tip just over the block and away from where Russia were defending. Well, Russia conspire to lose that point. They'd had China out of system, giving them pretty much a free ball, but a lack of footwork from Russia costing them. And China now 2 in front. Yan Ni with the serve. It's a good serve. Sherban making a mess of it. Free ball now for China. 3 front row attackers. Zheng Chunlei gets block out off the back off of Koshileva's hands. Not the best of introductions for Koshileva. And the double substitution may be reversed pretty quickly, but before that, timeout called. Fist bumps for China. Trouble for Russia. That is not what Russia wanted. Koshileva has had no impact whatsoever other than to help Russia to get further away from China here in terms of giving China points. China now just 2 required. That's an excellent serve. Or would you believe it? Almost caught China out, and now there's a chance for Russia. Huge hit by Koshileva. But it's China that come up with a point. Excellent defence from China. Soaking up those big hits from Koshileva. And it's China who have set point. And they're going to have a swing for it. Koshileva denying them. Mixture of relief and frustration for Koshileva as she put that ball on the floor. Trying to get herself going, trying to get the team going now, but they may have left it too late. Nice up, Felishtinskaya. That's not coming back. China take the first set against Russia, 25-20. Here are the stats from the first set. 1 ace apiece, nothing much in it in attacks. But Russia making 5 errors, which didn't help the cause. So Russia's new look, first 6, not able to do the business over the current leaders of this Grand Champions Cup, China. It's a round-robin tournament, so everybody plays everybody. There's Jenny Lang Ping in the red. Let's do a selfie. Communication with Anjia J in your picture. They're underway with the second set. China taking the first point. Good up by Zhu Ting. Oh, what a ball that is. Well, that was a shame. That was an opportunity for Zhong Changning. Up an excellent reverse dig by Ding Xia to get that ball all the way out to 4. Russia with a decent block. No surprise at Koshileva staying on court. This is what she could do. This is a bright start for Russia in this second set. 3-1 up already. Good serving and some decent blocking, but that's much better from the youngster Zhong Changning, getting that off the block and away. Yan Ni back to serve. Good up by Zhu Ting. China have been very good at that all tournament long. Once they get the ball into transition, generally come up with the point. Dealing with an out-of-system situation very well. Chauvin finding the line. Parabet's the player who hasn't made it on court for set 2. That's a complete fib by me. Parabet's is on court. It's Goncharova who's not on court for Russia. And it's Koshileva taking her place. And Felishtinskaya taking the place of Pankova. slight delay while the scorers table deal with an issue. Important for the players to stay focused. Scores at 4 apiece. China getting back into the set after that early start from Russia. I had some issues yesterday which resulted in going back to a paper score sheet and a manual scoreboard, but it looks like we're all okay. Won't be needing that just yet. CHN with the serve. Unforced error by Sherban, which means China now back in front. Good serve at the shoulder of Sherban. And a belter cross court by Zheng Chunlei for China to move 2 in front. Great dig. Who's that going to go? It's going to go against China as the last touch deemed to have been made by Zhong Changning. Left him over. Gotcha having a little chat. Vladimir Kuzitkin looking on pretty stoically. Another good pipe attack from China. Plenty of options. They put the ball in. They generally put the ball in very well. And then Ding Xia goes to Zhu Ting. Lots of space created. And Xin Yue bringing Sherban away from the middle. Oh, excellent. Ding Xia, who's front court, more than capable of having a swing. With Zhu Ting not quite in play, then Xin Yue going on the slide behind, it just kind of opened up the middle of court for her. So the technical timeout is China leading by 3. Swing Ding Xia had because there was no one there up to block her. In fact, just looking exclusively then at what Evdokimova was doing, she wasn't doing anything, was she? She didn't know what was happening. Get involved on social media, hashtag FIVB Women's GCC. There's live stats, there's plenty of information, and then looking around as well in terms of information on players and things or what's going on. Thanks to @VolleyMob doing a great job providing information on Team USA and things going on in the NCAA. situation on court at the moment. Russia, despite their best efforts, really struggling to get the better of China. Sometimes when you play against teams and you get a few points up, that team then kind of goes away almost, and you can carry on and ease through a set, but you're not going to get that with China. And Russia know themselves that they're a team that if they don't stay positive all the way throughout, they can lose runs of points. So this one, as much a mental battle as it is a physical one, which is always the case really with volleyball. You've probably heard me say it before, but it's a physical game of chess. And you have to stay so focused throughout the rally, not just the first point or the first time the ball goes over the net. Not the second, but the third, fourth, fifth, however long it takes. You need to reset yourself and know that, right, this is happening now, this is happening now, this is happening. Staying in the moment can be difficult. Nice swing from Zhu Ting. Always very difficult for any setter following in the footsteps of setters before them. You're going to get compared to them. But Dingxia certainly a setter who is creating a good name for herself, and fast becoming one of the best setters in the world of volleyball. Probably the greatest setter for China, Feng Kun, who retired after the Olympics in Beijing in 2008, but a truly magical setter, technically perfect, really. You don't have to hit the ball hard in order to score the point. It's just got to hit the floor, go off the block and out. Off a defender and out, so Sheng Chunglei mixing it up, and China leading by 2. Four-touch call by the first referee, Daniele Rapisada. Into the net, not touching the block. Parabets. Oh, that's a brilliant play from China. Chikai was lucky she didn't get injured with this one. One-on-one. And then Sherbin jumping into the cross-court, leaving the line. There was nowhere else for Russia to go. No one was running the pipe. Parabets made no intention to do that. Koshileva was out of the play, so the ball could only go behind. And Yuan Xinyue said, no, you're not doing that either. Massive block on Sherban. Really good pickup. Zhu Ting doing well, putting it onto the setter, Felishtinskaya. So a chance again for China. But that's good blocking from Russia. Irina Fedisova denying Sheng Chunglei. rare serving mistake from China. China, one of the few teams in the world of volleyball whose unforced error rate is extremely low. Double sub then for Russia, so Felistinskaya goes out, Koshileva goes out, Pankova comes in and Goncharova into the front row. Nice blocking from Russia. That's a good ball in. Ding Xia with plenty of choices. She finds Zhu Ting on the pipe. And there's no trouble at all picking a spot to put the ball away. It's just incredible watching Zhu Ting. There is virtually no backswing with her arms. All in her legs. China making the block and opening up a 3-point lead in the second technical timeout in set 2. They lead 1-0. Another look at Zhu Ting. She gets so high, doesn't she? But just watch her arm swing. There isn't one, is there? Not in the traditional sense that players you see with a big first or big second step, really charging into the ball and using their arm swing then to drive them forwards and up into the air. I wonder if they've ever tried that with Zhu Ting, just how much higher she might be able to jump. Maybe she's been told, no, don't bother, you jump high enough as it is. We don't want to make it impossible for anybody to play against you. Lovely serve from Zheng Chongning. It's not getting any easier for Russia. That's been a feature of play here at the Nippon Geishi Hall, the way that this volleyball is dropping really quickly in front of players. Almost at times having a mind of its own. That's a good block. Not often Zhu Ting gets put down. Shervan, a little switch up. Getting it done. Shervan would normally be blocking on the other side of the court, but Goncharova took that spot. Shervan now with the serve. And that's one to forget. Free ball for China, 3 front court attackers. And Zhu Ting getting drawn quite a way inside and then ran out of angles to put the ball down. Oh dear. Parabet somehow conspiring to make that error. It's almost as if first glance he came in a little bit too early. He was having to lean back a long way. And a miss hit. So China up by 4, but we've got a challenge. Oh, they're challenging a block touch. Well, from here it looked like he just wailed it miles out. But she didn't, did she? She wailed it off of the block. Excellent challenge from Russia. My commentary position affords me an angle where I've got a really good view of the court from high up. But you do lose certain things from being that high up in terms of the ball sometimes seems a lot further away from the action than it really is. The Zhu Ting getting the job done. Good up. Ding Xia just holding her ground. So too Pankova, but the ball pops straight up on the net. And it's Yan Ni able to swing hard to make sure it doesn't come back. Excellent blocking. Really well tracked by Yan Ni, giving herself enough room she can go up and swing on the ball. If you're an aspiring volleyball player and you're at the net, never stand there as if you're under arrest. You see it so often in junior players where they stand as close to the net as they possibly can, hands right up in the air. Well, you can't go anywhere. You might be able to block something, but you couldn't hit anything because you touched the net. Right now, best player stats, it's the Chinese 1-2-3. Unless that's just the fact it's the best player stats for China. Which means we might see some for Russia now. So it would appear then that the three best attackers are all Russian, are all Chinese at the moment. Russia do well to try and get themselves onto that graphic we just saw. Ding Xia now with the serve. Solid work again from China. This time Zheng Chunlei just taking that little step, lining up parapets, making sure that the ball didn't come over. The hand was up early, so there was never going to be a hard hit coming. And as a defender, as soon as you see that, you have to change your defensive position, getting a timing and then getting ready, knowing you're gonna, the chase is on. Although, looking at that and looking at the defender, Krychkova was still moving, unsure of what was going on. Lovely Goncharova. Sometimes it looks like she plays the game in slow motion, with her languid movements and arm swings, but when she hits through the ball, goodness me, does she hit it hard, and from a very good height. The double substitution is reversed, so Balestinskaya comes in across the back row. Setter, Koshileva into the front row. 3 front row attackers for Russia for the next 3 rotations. Somehow that stayed in play. Good dig from Parabets. Can she finish it off? Not quite. Oh, Zhu Ting can though. Goodness me. Parabets, no chance with that as it bounced around her feet. What a swing this is. Full of venom. Brilliant. Oh, superb volleyball from China. Great discipline. And then Zheng Chunlei lining up the block brilliantly. Set point then for China. Zhu Ting with the serve. A decent swing by Koshileva. One thing that China have done very well, their serving strategy today in this game so far has been excellent. They really have pushed Russia wide, trying to put the ball to the sidelines each time and take a passer away from the rest of the team. They've made it difficult for Russia to run the middle so far in this match. They've relied heavily on their outside hitters. Oh, and a nice little combination play for China to take the set, 25-18, and China now lead 2-0 over Russia. Confirmation of the scores, 25-20, 25-18. China in the driving seat, they're one set away from another victory. Here are the highlights of the match so far. So the stats from that second set. China 17 attacks to Russia's 7. Although China were very generous with their errors in that set. And Russia outblocked China. But China's game was all around their block defense, rather their defense as such, because they made 23 digs to keep the ball in play and to give themselves a chance to swing. Goncharova not having the impact she would normally have in a match, but hasn't been on court for the whole time. New player on court for Russia. Number 16, Irina Voronkova. Outside hitter. Going to be playing in the opposite slot. So the outside hitters are Sherban and Parabets. It's Voronkova in the opposite slot. So Koshileva and Goncharova are on the bench for Russia, along with Pankova and Efimova. So 4 of what would normally be the starting 6 players are on the bench as Russia try and look to the other players available to see if things can change. They have the opening point of the set. Might just work, still early days, but Russia 2-0 up. Voronkova plays volleyball for Dynamo Kazan, along with Philistine-Skaya, so they'll have a common link for club volleyball, although it's a net touch by Voronkova. Koroleva, also a Dynamo Kazan player, but Koroleva is on the bench. Good up by Zhu Ting. Well, that's a little bit behind Voronkova, has to just put a roll on the ball. A chance now then for China. And a lovely set by Ding Xia, which enables Zhang Changning to have a swing on the ball. Top blocking from China. That's a really big blocking lineup as well. And Parabets down as outside hitter number 1 for Russia. She's deemed to be the better hitter between her and Sherban, but not able to get past that block. And now Voronkova unable to get past the block. If you're wondering about what do I mean outside hitter 1, when you set up your 6 players, we look at that wonderful block again. You set them up in a triangle of your stronger players to weaker players as such, although at this level pretty much all strong, but you'd have your number 1 outside hitter following the setter, and then you have your number 2 middle blocker next to her. The opposite player is deemed to be a big strong hitter, so you're going 1-2-1. Then you have your second best outside hitter, and then your strongest middle hitter. So you have this triangle of strength, as it were, going around the court. Obviously, if you've got 6 strong players, brilliant. But then you have to look at which players from your outside hitters you want to put them at 1 or 2, because it then determines which side of their court they spend most of the time passing the volleyball on. So if you've got a player who's stronger passing on the left side and a player who's stronger passing on the right side, that would determine where you would set them up as outside hitter 1 or outside hitter 2. More points for China, and after that bright start for Russia, they have been pegged back. Very quick through the middle. Lovely work from Irina Fetisova. She's been quiet today, not because of anything she's done, but because the ball hasn't been there for her to have a swing. That's a great dig. And a big, powerful hit from Zhang Changning to rescue China. Katerina Yevdokimova, number 19, is next to Philistine-Skaya. She's had very little to do as well. Rare error from the serving line for China, which hands Russia the lead. But this set is going the way that the previous 2 went. Not much in it in the opening exchanges in the race to 8 and the race to 16, and then China pulled away in the last third. Will that be the same? Certainly Russia hope that won't be the case. But if they are going to change that, they need to make sure that these opportunities the ball goes down. That's 2 swings they've had now to get this rally finished, and they can't take it. And now it's a free ball back for China. So into system, or they would have been if it had been a decent ball in. And now Zhu Ting has to beat two blockers. Voronka, oh, good pick up, Voronkova. And as the ball doesn't go over the net, it's a 4 touches in the end by Russia. But there were plenty of opportunities then for Russia to put that ball on the floor from 2 decent swings, and they were unable to do so. Lovely serving from Yuan Xinyue. And at the technical timeout, Russia leading by 1. Oh, sorry, China are leading by 1. Russia trailing, and Russia trailing by 0 sets to 2. So good serve from Yuan Xinyue, brings up the free ball, and the point then for China as a result. It's basic volleyball, and it applies from junior volleyball at the lowest level to senior volleyball here at the highest level. You've got to serve tough, and if you can serve tough and get the free ball back, or it doesn't come back, that's what it's all about. Serving is the most important thing that you need to be able to do, because if you cannot score a point from service, either directly or from getting it into transition, you cannot win a set, you cannot win a game of volleyball. That was a net touch against Russia, and that was a cannon of easy for me to say, a cannon of an arm swing from Cheng Chunlei. Really ripping into that ball. China 2 ahead now. Not quite for Dingxia. Paravets gets the point. Dokimova goes back to the serving line. Over the years, Zhang Chengning has really developed into a fantastic player. And I say over the years, he's only been playing for a couple, born in 1995. But has fast become a very important part of China's team. Just saw briefly Frolova, Koshileva and Goncharova. If you add into that Efimova and Koroleva, that was the starting 5 players at the beginning of this tournament, all of whom now are on the bench and watching. It's only Felishchinskaya, number 3, who's on court at the moment, who started this tournament as a starting player. That's a decent block from Parabets. If anything, though, it's up to the players on court now for Russia to impress and to make their mark and to try and get a result against China. Great covering. Fetisova again happy to have the ball and put it away. Better from Russia. They get the ball into transition and are able to turn it into a point. China sensing danger of called timeout. Chung Lei making sure with a roll deep. The 6th player for Russia was a little bit too far into court. Yan Ni with the serve. Not the best choice for Chung Lei. Just again checking the score, the table's not catching up, so the score the scores table is not working, so it's been taken away. Bring out the manual score chart again by the looks of things. Back then to the action. Parabets with the serve. Excellent defense by Russia. China have to go again, and this time the ball hits the floor. Yuan Xinyue makes sure of that. China bringing Diao Linyu in, a setter. And then Gong Xiangyu in as an opposite player into the front row. First time China have used the double substitution. Oh dear, that's a wild one from Voronkova. And we head into the second technical timeout then. China leading by 3 and leading by 2 sets to nothing. Some setting work to do now for Diao Linyu, and a change for Russia. So Frolova's coming in just to serve and play defense, but his server goes to the bench. Frolova with a 1-foot float jump serve. And this is her first contact with the ball since the warm-up. She's been watching the whole time. Is she up to game speed? That's an absolute shocker, isn't it? At this level, that tells you one thing. Frolova's been stood on the sideline chatting with her teammates, not engaged in what's going on, hasn't kept herself particularly warm, not focused, come on to do a job, and hasn't been able to do it. Russia with Sherban get the point. Double sub. There's Koshaleva coming in on the front row, Pankova in on the back row. Well, despite the fact it's not Russia's starting 6, despite the fact that they've been making errors, they're still only 1 point behind here in this third set. China only changing 2 personnel at the moment. Diao Linyu finding Gong Xiangyu with ease. Put them back to 2 in front. And Yan Xingyue goes to serve, so Yan Ni back into the front row. Another side out, scoreboard ticking over, and as yet China have yet to break away as they did in the first 2 sets. So Russia holding on and holding on. Can Sherban find a way to get Russia level? Not from serve, maybe from defense, and it won't be from there either. Not too sure what position Sherban was trying to take up at 6. Seemed to get herself in the shadow of the block, and there was nobody shutting down the cross-court angle. Good up from Pankova. Parabets against two blockers. Well, that's given us two touches. You could argue maybe that the first one from Yan Ni was a block. And she's not arguing. Follow, but he's off. She came on to serve and then came on off for the libero, but then they had to make the substitution to get Fedisova back onto court in the front row. China into double figures, into the 20-point mark of double figures. 5 required to win the match. But they are not home and dry just yet. And China not reversing their double substitution just yet either. Well, that will do very nicely for China. Lovely block from Diao Linyu. She's a little bit taller than Ding Xia. So a good choice from China to leave her in at the moment. This time Koshileva finds a way through. Double substitutions reverse. Koshileva off. Felishtinskaya comes in. Osianenko off. Voronkova back in. Super side out from China. Zhong Changli working the block. China working towards another victory here at the World Grand Champions Cup. That was coming from half a mile away and Russia couldn't see it. Not sure what Voronkova was watching. She certainly wasn't watching what Diao Linyu was doing. And now she seems to be getting told off by the coach. Hopefully that's not the case. They're trying to figure things out. Timeout called by Russia. China need two. Only two to get this match won. Top serve from China. Yan Ni putting Russia in trouble, and it's now match point for China. Saved for the moment by Fetisova. It's done and dusted. China take the set 25-20 and the match 3-0 over Russia. And it's China who remain top of the World Grand Champions Cup table. 25-20, 25-18, 25-20. And Another solid performance from An Jia's team. China take a bow, and so they should. Another strong performance from them, and a chance for An Jia just to give a few players a run out. Not many. Still requires the likes of Zhu Ting to get the job done against a very tough Russian team, but an interesting performance from Russia. Their second six playing most of the match and pushing China, but not enough in the end to get a result. Jenny Langping will be very pleased with the way her team have gone. And so too will the coach on court, An Jia. Good day at the office for Ding Xia and co. Liu Xiaotong not required. So down on court we can hear from Zhong Changning. Well, Zhong Changning is waiting to be spoken to as we get a glimpse of the team, all just having a little wave up to a little pocket of fans supporting them, and waving back. And here is Zhong Changning. Well, a few technical difficulties at the moment. I think that'll be the language barrier. Zhong Changning doesn't speak any English. There is an interpreter. We're just trying to organise that. It may well be that Zhu Ting might have to come and do the interview, or maybe not.
Exciting to win this game, and I think we play very well.
And tomorrow you play Japan. It's like a final.
Japan is a very good team, and I hope us can play good.
Okay, do you have a message to your fans?
In Chinese, yeah. 谢谢大家对我们的支持，希望能够一如既往的支持我们，我们也会用最好的成绩来回报大家。Thank you.
Well, we got there in the end, and a few words from Zhong Changning and a few words for the fans at home as well. It will be a tough game against Japan tomorrow to finish off this tournament, but if China can win it, they will win the Grand Champions Cup. They're in a great position, they've done extremely well, they played some fantastic volleyball. And we can have a look at the highlights. Well, that just about wraps it up from our first game here from the Nippon Geisha Hall. Just time to have a look at the statistics from that last set. Not a great deal in it. There wasn't a great deal in it in the scoreline in the end, just the odd point here and there. And from the match overall, it's that top line that's the important one if you're supporting China. 3-0. Russia not getting a look in. Well, that is just about it from us. We hope you have enjoyed the volleyball. 2 more matches to come today. We do hope you can join us for those. But until then, from all of us here at the Nippon Geisha Hall, it's time to say goodbye.